Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul-to-soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free. I'm Christina Gomes, and I went from high-paying job as a psychotherapist to leaving it all behind for my desire to travel the world playing my original music, to becoming the CEO and soulpreneur founder of freeyourcreativity.org, where I help visionary leaders create the businesses of their wildest dreams. If you have a sacred calling, stick around. My prayer is that you become the permission slip for the collective as you hear the soul-inspiring stories that call you forth into creative action. Let's get to the soul. We are live and wild, wealthy, and well-known. I am here with my spotlight on my clients. This is Aimee Takaya. I'm going to read her title because it's so beautifully developed. She is in the Conscious Creative Business Immersion right now. And I love to highlight some of the clients that are really nailing it, who are going out there and making their dreams come true and making money and launching their offers, putting together such beautiful offers. So we're going to talk about her free event coming up. We're going to talk about freedom in business and through movement and food and health. And we're going to really get into a lot of lovely topics. But I wanted everyone to watch, that is watching, to know that this is an inspirational video that can help you to see how you can do it too. How you can have freedom of movement, how you can have freedom in your life. And if you're creating a business, that this is the way. So let this be a truly inspiring conversation with Aimee, who is helping heart-led leaders like you. We know that that's who's here. Teachers, coaches, healers, out of tension and pain so they can live with ease and serve with brilliance. And I know that this is such a juicy topic because and the work that you do is so needed because all of the people in this group are heart-led leaders, coaches, healers. And when we're feeling pain, when we're feeling tension, this really takes our attention, it takes our awareness. So I love the work that you do. And so why don't you give us a little bit around who you are and how you came into this type of leadership?
Well, I'm originally from Southern Oregon and I grew up there. And throughout my life, I've had all kinds of different health challenges that have frequently been remedied by changing my diet. And then around 19 years old, I discovered yoga. And that became another tool in my arsenal for helping me deal with pain and issues that were coming up in my body. So I started practicing yoga and then at 19, and then 3 years later, I became a yoga teacher. And then the year after becoming a yoga teacher, I started traveling the world, very similar to you. We actually met in Norway at the Arctic Circle or something, right? Mm-hmm. So I traveled the world teaching yoga for about 4 years all over, and it was an amazing experience. But there were some things that were going on in my body that weren't being resolved by my lifestyle at that time. I was very, I guess you could say, relentless in my yoga practice. I was not very into gentle yoga. I really liked powerful, intense yoga. I was really into back bending. And it's not that any of those, there's anything wrong with that, but the part of me that was doing that was kind of doing it in this very kind of aggressive kind of yang way. Right. And I didn't realize this at the time, but I had a lot of functional postural issues that had been going on since I was a child. So when I started my yoga practice, I wasn't starting as a blank slate. I was starting with all of the physical, and emotional baggage that I had been carrying, as we all are, right? So I started from there. And what ended up happening was I found myself while traveling the world, having this amazing life, living in chronic pain, especially in my pelvis, in my left hip joint. There were times when it was just so excruciating. I felt like an old person when I woke up. I would wake up and just be in so much pain. Once I got moving, it was okay. But then there were times when, it was really bad and I could barely walk up the stairs. And so this was a big source of, fear and anxiety for me because my job was teaching yoga and being this leader who was supposed to be helping people to get out of their suffering. And yet I was suffering. And I was not able to seem at this point to resolve my suffering through the tools that I currently had in the back of my pocket. Miraculously, luckily, my father, who, my father and I have such a close relationship. He's really been such a mentor to me in so many ways, but he had actually gotten me into yoga. And then now he was reaching out to me and saying, I've got something else here that works really well for reducing pain, and that he had been practicing already for several years. So he got me into this new method that I now teach, but it was a process. It took time because this method is so different than what I practiced before. It is not, I wouldn't say that it's yang or yin. It's like very integrated. Yes. So it's not stillness. It's not passive. It's definitely active, but it's active in like a very specific way that you're using minimal effort rather than maximal effort. Right? Using minimal effort to make huge changes in your nervous system and reconnect to musculature and areas of your body that for whatever reason you may have disconnected with. Right? So through this practice, and it's taken years, I kind of flip-flopped back and forth before really committing to it. I have released all of the tension and pain that was in my body. And beyond that, I actually have more functional, graceful, aligned movement than I did as a child.
Wow.
My body is much more aligned and functional and feels really great to be in. And I don't even have memories of that as a child, because I don't know about you, but I had some crazy stuff happen in my childhood, right? And that was in me. And now through this practice, I have reorganized my movement patterns and released these patterns that were in my body my whole life. So it's amazing work. It is based on an understanding of how our neurophysiology works, how our brain connects with our muscles. And that's, what I'm trained in is to help people with all kinds of issues. And really what it creates in us is an ability to be more free in our bodies by having a sense of being in control of what's happening in our bodies. Right? Like when you are in pain, you feel out of control. Like you don't know how to stop this pain. You don't know how to make it end. You're reaching for whatever possible to make the pain go away for a moment, right? You're kind of desperate. And then when we do this movement practice, you start to reconnect and literally regain control over the muscle. But now you also have this sense of, oh, I can do this. There's something I can actually do that's practical, that can deal with this pain, that can actually resolve and deal with this discomfort, rather than just feeling like kind of tortured by your body or out of control, as I said.
Yeah. And this is amazing. And it sounds really like your journey through pain made you want to help other people who were experiencing pain, who wanted to lead, who wanted to get out there and lead their classes, whether they're a yoga teacher or they're a heart-led healer, like you say in your message. And because of your own issues with pain, you have put yourself in this position as a leader to help other people. And so you joined the Conscious Creative Business School and put together a really amazing offering. But what was it like before when you moved through the pain? So you moved through the pain and you're like, dang, I want to help other people to get through this as well. Was there anything standing in your way from creating your own offering around this?
I think for me, it was being willing to be seen and stand up and say, I have something that works. There was still some hesitancy, some fear around that, because when you put yourself out there, like now suddenly maybe there are expectations about you, or there are, dissenters or people who don't agree with what you're saying, and so definitely like had to step out of a sense of being afraid, right? Being afraid of what might happen. And also, for me, it didn't really fully line up until it's two pieces. And this is part of what my message is and part of what my program is it's releasing the physical tension from our bodies, returning to or coming to, maybe you've never been there before, coming to a baseline tension that's lower, that's more relaxed throughout your entire body. That's like step one. And that was step one for me. Then step two is noticing the effect of what you consume. And in basic terms, that's food, but it could also be like what kind of energies that you're taking in from other people, what kind of environment, and what you've already taken in, how are you still perpetuating that? How are you still like processing it? So then for me, as I started to pay attention more to what I was taking in and consuming, AKA food, but it could be also any other thing, that helped me feel more certain and clear inside myself that I could give without fear of overgiving or taking on too much, that I had this like fortified sense within myself of like, I know how to take care of myself. Therefore, I know how I can take care of other people or how other people can take care of themselves. Does that make sense?
It really does. And it's like twofold for me because I'm sitting here in awe. One, looking at how I teach and what I know is inside of the Conscious Creative Business Immersion coming to life, and you have your own steps and you've moved past the fear of being seen because you have confidence in your offering and you have confidence in your messaging. So I'm seeing it from that level. And I'm also seeing like, wow, how this offering is going to help so many people who are feeling the way that you felt when you first started your business and when you felt that you were in pain. So that first step that you take people through is so unique and unique to your own experiences. But we know that there are other people out there that are feeling that way. And I just wanted to take it to the listeners that most of us have a fear of being seen and also a desire.
Yeah.
So we have a fear and we have a desire, and we get to hold both. And it sounds like your program helps people to hold both. And when we feel ready to hold both, to be seen and witnessed in our fear of being seen, then we start to get inside of programs and get inside and next to other people that have the ability to see us and understand us, and who understands pain better than you. So yeah, talk a little bit about that, about how that pain really brought you to this place of wanting to help.
So for me, I was searching for so long for reasons. Why is this happening to me? What did I do? What's wrong with me that this is happening? There was a lot of like blaming myself, feeling like some kind of secret shame that I was going through this, and like looking around and not really getting that actually a lot of people are living with tension and pain. It's really, really common. Instead, I kind of like internalized it and made it like a me problem, right? And as I started to learn more about how my body system works, it's like, oh, okay, like this is a physiological process that's happening. And once I start to understand that, I have now the ability to do something about it and interrupt that process with specific tools. And that helped me to kind of depersonalize from the problem and look at it more objectively and take out the moral stuff, take out like the shame and the blame in the way that I was interacting with my body, and just go, okay, like this is happening. I don't necessarily need to know why. It doesn't have to have like a reason why. But now that I understand what's happening, like let me like see what I can do to solve this problem. And that's a lot of kind of the mindset stuff that I've noticed in your program that you help people through too, is changing the way that we're looking at something from looking for solutions to a problem, being creative about what the issue is that we're dealing with. So there was a whole lot of it. And I invite my clients to be creative in their own bodies with what they can do to make themselves more comfortable, to make the movement that they're experiencing more easeful and pleasant. It's a really lovely practice because it's so gentle, and it really invites people to be in charge of their own pleasure in their bodies, in charge of their own pain relief in their bodies, which is something I love about it, which has been so therapeutic for me. Again, that sense of feeling like you have this connection and this sense of control of what's going on in your body. That is so empowering, right? So changing my mindset through a physical practice, through an experiential practice, was so major for me. And ultimately, I look at the pain that was going on and I just bow because it brought me there. It brought me to this place of healing. I personally probably wouldn't have gone this route if I hadn't been done living in pain. And honestly, my best clients, they're done. They're done living in pain. They're done living with this thing in the way of their life. in the way of their pleasure, in the way of their joy. They're done with living with this thing in the way of their brilliance when they're with their clients. I mean, there were times I was teaching a private yoga class or something, and I would try to demonstrate something, and my body would hurt. And I would just have to like grit my teeth and keep going because I don't want everybody to know that I'm a gimpy yoga teacher or whatever, right? Or same thing with like a coach or someone who's with a client and they're having some kind of physical pain in their body. It might get in the way of really being present with that person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you've experienced something like that before. Maybe it's for you. For someone else, it might be an emotional thing, that gets in the way of their real presence with that person, right? There's all kinds of ways that pain shows up.
Oh, totally. And I wanted to acknowledge that as well. I remember when I was a yoga teacher and I was teaching in Morocco and people just didn't get it. They were, I was like trying to get this job, I remember, and they'd be like, well, where are these pictures like this? Where are this picture like this, and picture like that, and like picture in this like pose that I've never been able to do. And not even because of pain, but because I don't want to put my body like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we realized, oh, wow, yoga is so much more than this fancy pose. And to relate it to business, it's like that's what happens in most of our programs is like we have a message. It's like, hey, have pain-free living, or we have a message like, hey, make a lot of money living your gifts. But what happens inside of our containers is so much deeper. What you're doing with your clients, it is transformational on all levels. And what we do inside of the Conscious Creative Business Immersion, like people are already so surprised. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know I was gonna touch on this."
Yeah.
Was crying in the session today, and I didn't know I was gonna get emotional. But we need to. We we need to start getting emotional. We need to start putting ourselves in rooms if we want to be heart-set leaders, instead of gritting our teeth and dealing with the pain, or gritting our teeth and putting a face forward that's this perfection of a yoga teacher or coach or guide, whatever it is that we deem is the peak pose of what is perfection, and start to really get down to like the pain, acknowledging our pain, acknowledging our fears, acknowledging our tears, and being in rooms where all of us is welcome. So
yes. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. I mean, when the thing is when you're vulnerable, or when you like actually show up as you and not like a picture of a perfect somebody, right? That actually gives an opportunity for people to see you as a human being and relate to you. When you show up like looking perfect, people don't relate to perfect. I don't, So that's, yeah, as you said, I think early on in the business school, you said perfect is boring. And I really appreciated hearing that. It was like, oh yeah, I need to hear that. It's so much more interesting to be a human being and have that whole range of experience and come from a deep place of respect for that full range of experience, and that's really what's so medicinal for people. It's so life-changing for people, is that realm of acceptance of what is, as it is.
I love that. This is such a potent message for my audience to hear. And I'm so happy that you came on to chat about that. I wanted to give people the opportunity to hear what you have coming up, because what I loved about having you in the program is you really are the dream client. When I say I work with heart-centered, wise, intelligent people who are good at what they do, that want to create a message and a launch plan to actually bring their offer out and fill it. How do we get to do our beautiful work in the world? Do we fill our offer, And so it's been so lovely to watch you hit the ground running, to take the things and elevate and do the little tweaks and implement the process that I offer, but make it truly your own. So you have created what we call in the biz world, a conversion event, but you have created something really beautiful to add value to your people so that you can help them. It's a completely free workshop. What are you calling it? I would love to hear about it from you. Hey there, visionary leader. If you're resonating with this message, I'd like to invite you into your next level life and business. Enrollment has begun for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. This is my signature group container to help you design an offer so delicious, so juicy, so based on your soul gifts that you are thrilled to invite your soulmate clients inside of it. I'm going to teach you how to promote this offer with a ton of heart and to sell out this offer with ease to meet your revenue goals. I would love to have you inside if you are a visionary leader who knows that they are great at what they do. You'd like to collapse the timeline on how long it takes to reach consistent income with an offer that you truly love. Go to the link in the show notes to apply for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. I will be sitting with your application individually, and I will send an email to let you know if you've been accepted in a few days after application. Thank you for trusting me with your vision, and I can't wait to see what we co-create.
It's the launch for my program. My program is a 3-month immersive program called Free Your Soma. Soma is a Greek word, means your body as experienced from the inside, the living body. Free your soma, free your experience from within. Okay, so that's my program. And this launch event is for the launch of my program. And it is called 3 Days to Radiance. Okay, freedom through movement and food. And I'll be expressing and sharing about the possibility of what I call radiant health. So health that is felt from the inside by you and then radiates out from you in your aura, in your presence, in your world, and it impacts others. This is the kind of health that I want to see the leaders in the world experiencing, not just for themselves, but for everyone who comes in contact with them. Because as a leader, we set the example and people look up to us, people come to us for guidance, for healing, for, wisdom. And the more that we can be in our bodies in a peaceful, centered, calm, and harmonious way, we will make the world a better place faster, more immediately. And that's what I'm really inviting people to experience in this 3-day event. It's almost like a mini version of the 3-month program that I have. So the first day is just get out of the tension and pain to some degree. I mean, what I teach is not a one and done. It's a skill, like playing the piano is a skill. Maybe it doesn't take as long to learn this as to play the piano well, but it's a skill. So they're not going to get it all in 3 days, but they're going to get a taste. They're going to get a feel for what this really can do. So the first day is just dedicated to the movement practice where we take the time to help the people. Help the people who show up, free coaching, to unwind the tension that they've been experiencing in their body for who knows how long. That's the first day. The second day, we're going to still do a movement practice, but now we're also going to have a conversation about the healing power of plant foods. How that the plants that are around us, that are part of the earth, that are part of our bodies for generations upon generations, these perfect vehicles of nutrition. When we start to consume more of them, when we start to consume more of them, we start to feel more grounded. We start to feel more connected to the natural world, and our bodies start to heal. So we're going to have a discussion about the microbiome, the way our microbiome works, and how plants are this natural connector inside our microbiome that connects our brain to our gut, right? Both brains, lower brain and upper brain. Then on the third day, I'm going to take everybody again through a movement practice. There's a movement practice every day. The third day, we're going to talk about the possibility of what kind of human you would be if you were released from your chronic tension, pain that accumulated over the course of your life through injury, through trauma, through whatever repetitive activities you've done. Who would you be if you released all of that and now had a healthy microbiome on your side? You had a clear connection to life-affirming foods. And how would that change the way that you age? How would that change the future of a human being if they were free? If they were free of their, patterns of, the Band-Aid solutions to pain, which is often like comfort food or, substances that we go after to feel good for a minute. What if instead we didn't have that pain driving that, right? That
Mm-hmm.
compulsion. And then now we had freedom from that pain that was driving that compulsion to make better choices, not even better, but just choices that feel more aligned, that feel more helpful and are actually moving us in the direction we really want to go, where our deepest desire and heart is like calling. That's what we're going to explore the last day.
So fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting. You offer so much value for your people, and you have been such a dream to work with. And I wanted to also ask you a little bit about your experience in the business school. Like, I'm really excited for people to join this event so that they can really see how what a human would be. And why don't you tell a little bit of talk to the people if they're thinking about joining the business immersion. What was something that you learned, or something that you would tell yourself if you're on the edge of deciding again to join the business immersion?
So for me, the commitment, and this is actually something I learned really quickly from you, even just through your free offerings that attracted me to working with you to begin with, is this idea that if you don't raise your price, people are not going to do the work. They're not going to do the work or even really get the value. I mean, some people will, because there's amazing people out there who just, you tell them to read a book and they go out and read a book and then like read 4 more books on the same subject. But most people are not necessarily going to do the work unless they have skin in the game, right? You've heard that term before. So for my clients, what that's meant, and this was a huge, this made me kind of look at your, what you were offering, go like, she knows what she's talking about, because this is already working for me. And I haven't even joined the program yet. And I know that if I join the program, I'm going to get so much more than just this little piece that's working for me right now. Raising my prices meant that my clients actually do the things that I assign them to do. Then I only attract people who are willing to do the work, who are willing to invest in themselves, right? So that's the kind of person I want to work with. I want to get the person the result that they're looking for. I want to get them free of their pain and suffering. And that means they have to do the work. I can't do it for them. So that was huge for me. That was so major. Raising my prices meant that now I'm working with people who value what I'm doing. And I feel good about it because I'm actually being paid for my time in a way that feels yummy, that feels like super nourishing, right? Because it's paying my bills, right? Versus doing a session for like $80 or something, and the person never follows up and does the thing that I told them that, would help keep the work going, and then I kind of feel like I wasted my time because they're not coming back and they're not getting the result. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that. And then the thing that worked for me, honestly, was investing in myself in your program, actually joining and paying the money, because it meant I'm going to do this for real this time. I'm not just going to take another free course or try to, do it solo. And it's been powerful for me to have skin in the game, to kind of practice what I'm preaching, right? Which is I invested in my time and myself in this, and I'm going to show up now. I'm not going to flake. I'm not going to drop it because, I dropped some money on it, and that makes a big difference. So that's one thing I would tell people right away. If they're worried about the cost of the program, don't worry about that, because if you are serious and you're going to do it, you're going to make your money back. I already have. I made my money back to this program. So totally, completely. Yeah, no, dude. The first month, that was February, the first month, I got 2 one-on-one private clients who each paid me $3,000. And now my price is going up for the program because I see the insane amount of benefit that they're getting is just, it's amazing. It's like they are getting so much on so many levels out of what we're doing together, and they're committed. So they're actually doing the work to get the result that they're after, and they're getting it. And we're only partway through their 3-month program, these people I'm working with one-on-one. And that's why I'm opening it to a group, because I think the group dynamic is going to be super, super powerful for people to, watch other people in their process, to learn more about the technique by getting other people's questions answered around them, right? You know how it is. The group has this special vibe, right? So I'm opening it to a group now, and the price has gone up because this is life-changing stuff. This is you won't be the same again after this program.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I love you owning the power of the work that you do. And you always had. I work with people who know that they're good at what they do, but they're feeling like there's just something missing. Why is it not working for me? And oftentimes it is this piece of it feels like you became an energetic match for people who value programs and joining them because you were like, I'm valuing myself, I'm valuing this program. And you're seeing also from the inside out, because not many people know the power of the group. You're seeing from the inside out and how much value you get on the days that even when you haven't asked a coaching question, but you're watching someone be coached and you're watching someone break through and you're going, wow, that is a question maybe that you'll have in the future. But there is such power in the group and there's such power in going all in on yourself. But thank you for saying that. The people, you're going to make your investment back. If you want to make your investment back, if you want to double your investment, like you will make it back. And the same goes for any program that you're in. If you want to have free from pain and suffering, was like, that message was like, wow, this woman is owning what it is that she does. And that's what I help people to do. So it's so beautiful just to see.
Yeah, well, and thank you so much for, your program helped me get crystal clear on my message. And that was an obstacle for a while because I knew it in my body. I knew what I was offering in my body. And sometimes when I would be with a client, I would just start channeling it. It would just start coming out and it would be really clear in that moment talking to this person. But in terms of like shouting it from the rooftops, I'm like, what am I saying? What is this really about? So going through the steps in your, and that's when you're not even there, right? When I'm just looking at my computer, listening to your voice, going through the templates that you've designed, really helped me get crystal clear on my program. So for someone who's out there who might be watching this and they're not sure what their program is yet, they know it in their body, like me, right? They know what they've been through and they're starting to put the pieces together. Your program really helped me put those pieces together so that when I'm going out in the world, I know what I'm about to say. Like I know what I'm about to like share and why it's important, right? Because that why that you talk about is so powerful too. So no, I mean, if someone wants to be like getting serious about being an entrepreneur who is all the stuff that you do, the heart-led, soul-led entrepreneur, and they want to just get it done and not like flop around anymore, right?
That's cute.
Yeah. Not that they're flopping around. It can be a good time, but it doesn't necessarily like get you the freedom, right? Because we're talking about freedom today. It doesn't get you the freedom that you're after in your life, to be just flopping around forever.
Right. And that kind of goes back to your program too. It's like, do you want to move in a free way? Or do you want to just flop around on the ground and pray your pain away? We get there. I remember doing that a few times and would have liked to know you when I was doubled over in pain in a forest, like, I'm flopping.
Yes. Yeah.
What it's all about. We're rising in power. We're offering our offers. I hope that anyone who's listening, who feels in pain, feels free to reach out to Aimee and get inside of her world. So where can they follow you on the internets to learn more about your offerings?
Okay, so it's my name, Aimee, Aimee Takaya, which I'm sure you'll see in this, post here somewhere. And that's my name on Instagram. That's my name on Facebook. I have public accounts. You can browse without actually friending me for a little bit and then decide for yourself if you want to, reach out and say hello. And, right now I'm still doing like connection calls with people where they can have a little, firsthand experience of this, as part of what I'm doing in my launch. Once the program starts, I might have that more limited. But yeah, you can get a firsthand experience from me if you're really, really interested in the program or interested in learning more about this. So Aimee Takaya, and then my website is www.freeyoursoma.com. And that page is pretty much all about my program. It kind of gives you an outline of what we do and what you can expect from it. And then I also have my story. It's a little novella that you can read about my life if you want to know, if you like to know your teacher in that way. And those are the places mainly to follow me right now is Instagram and Facebook.
This is very exciting. You are rocking your biz. You're giving us so much inspiration, and I'm so happy for you. So proud, so honored that I got to guide you and put you on my website forever because it's so fun to be connected, to meet in this little tiny place and then be together, growing our businesses together and seeing what can really happen when we take both real brilliant mindset, energy and strategy, and then you are getting it done and you can see that you're invested. You
Oh
really
yeah.
are invested. You hit the
No,
ground running. You want this is going to happen for you.
this is my new life already. Like it is. It's already happened. It's already happening. It's just, and this is the other thing that I think I would tell anyone. And what I've really loved about your nature as the leader of this program is you are so encouraging. And I'm not even just saying like the words you say, it's like your presence is encouraging to people. And we need that. People need that because it's hard to keep going when you're running up against all your triggers, all your traumas, all your, BS or whatever that's going on. To have somebody there who's just encouraging is so powerful, right? And that's part of what you bring in your presence when you're on the coaching calls with us, with your bubbly way that you can be, and also how straight and like clear you can be. You bring all of that, and that's just been so wonderful to experience. And it's very similar to what I bring to my clients in the session is this encouragement. You can do this. There's no such thing as failure. Like it's all part of a learning process, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you as a business coach to people who need that kind of encouragement and empowerment to keep going, even when someone says no, even when someone doesn't join your program or you don't get likes or whatever happens that triggers that little kid in you that's like, nobody likes me, I'm not good enough, whatever, all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of it, but that encouragement that we get from the outside starts to create that encouragement that we can feel from the inside. And then we get to be our own coach, right? Over time. So thank you. Thank you for everything you've been doing. Thank you for the work you've been doing on yourself, because it shows up when you show up. And yeah, anybody who's on the fence, don't worry about it. If you're ready to get it done, Christina will help you make it happen.
We're going to get it done in an encouraging, beautiful environment. And I just want to say, you get to be you. That's what you're saying. You're noticing that mirror of, oh, I'm straightforward. And I'm also encouraging. And encouraging doesn't look like co-signing on people's naughty beliefs or co-signing when they feel like crap. That we can still say, you can do this, and actually you must, because you you said you want to do. So like, I'm gonna hold your vision. And so that's what we really have in common. And you get to be more of you. If you're straightforward, if you're a cheerleader, if you're really calm or soothing, like it's not about becoming me, it's about doing it exactly as you are. So that's what I noticed about you too, is like you're really owning who you are, and that wise woman inside of like, I work with a lot of people who are intelligent because, hey, if you didn't notice, I'm pretty smart. But like, right, we can feel your intelligence in your auric field. And so it becomes not about like, hey, where's my likes because of how smart I am. It's like, well, let me put these smarts together in a program that actually helps people. And it's amazing. So we are rising together. And I'm going to close this with that. Reach out to both of us, be in both of our worlds. You want to be around inspiring people, and you want to be encouraged. You want that straightforward, hey, there is a wrong way to do this. I like when you said that. Like, you're wrong. Don't waste your freaking time.
Yes, I know. I see that way too often. And yeah.
I loved it. And that you're there to be like, you're going to get the most out of this if you do it this way. And that's what it's all about. So great job. And we'll see you next time. I'll see you in the coaching calls, and say hello to everybody. Everybody say hello to Aimee. Reach out to her, follow her. Thank you so much for being here.